Hello, welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you're new. If you're new, my name is Shannan and I am a new mum, and I do kind of daily vlogs, weekly vlogs, lifestyle tips, saving videos, Disney vlogs, travel when we can, all of that good stuff. If you do like the sound of my videos, please do make sure to subscribe to my channel because it really helps me out. Today I am here with a postpartum kind of essentials, what you need, tips and tricks type of thing. I watched a lot of this kind of video before it was my turn to have a baby, and they really helped me out. I've collected a few different things along the way that definitely helped me on my postpartum journey, and I hope that I can help you out too. If you guys saw my hospital packing video, you'll know the kind of things that I packed. But then if you've seen my birth story video, you'd know that we didn't actually go to hospital in the end. We last minute decided to have a home water birth. But in that video, basically what I'm trying to say, in the hospital bag video, I said that I was thinking of packing a white dressing gown. And a few of you guys commented on the video and said, absolutely do not take a white dressing gown. You'll be bleeding loads and you don't want to ruin it. And I thought, I don't know, I think I was in a bit of like a dreamland when it came to postpartum bleeding. I thought it was going to be just like a period. Let me tell you now, it's not just like a period. It does become like that after kind of a few days or weeks or however your body adjusts to it. But for me, the first kind of few days, the bleeding was not just like period bleeding. I'm talking there's like clots and just a lot more blood than you could ever imagine. So sorry if that grosses you out, but it's the reality of having a baby, or at least it was for me. If there's a lot of noise outside, please just try and ignore it. It's a windy day and there's like a metal shutter outside and it just wobbles in the wind and it's so annoying, but there's nothing I can do about it. So please try to ignore that. I hope you can't hear it, but if you can, I'm really sorry. But yes, carrying on. Basically for me, an essential thing was black clothing, and I had bought a black like dressing gown thing, which I've got here to show you, but you can't really see. But I decided to I got this on Amazon Prime as like a last minute thing after showing my white one on my video, and everyone was like, you need a dark colour. So I ordered this one, and I'll just show you here. The sleeves are actually like half length or like 3/4 length, which I thought would be really handy because just, you know, you don't want baggy sleeves when you're trying to deal with like a baby or your own kind of bleeding and stuff. Like, I just thought, when I ordered it, I just thought, oh, that seems like a good idea to have half-length sleeves. And whilst I didn't go into hospital, I definitely used it a lot in the days following the birth. And yeah, I wore black pyjama bottoms, black jogging bottoms, black knickers. I wanted to wear black everything because you'll see in a minute, I did definitely double up on the like protection in case of leakages with bleeding, but still I was so worried about leaking, and it does still happen. You're bleeding so heavily, it can still happen. So I definitely wanted to be in dark colours for the days following. So that's my first kind of like tip and essential, is just like dark comfy clothing. And comfy as in like the comfiest clothing ever, the biggest baggiest joggers. You guys might know if you follow me on Instagram, which if you don't already, it's just at ShannanLorraine. I'll pop it on the screen here, but if you follow me on there, or you have done for a few months, you might have seen my stories talking about my favourite maternity underwear, which were these thongs from Next, which I loved, and they were so comfy. And I was like, I never wear knickers, they're the uncomfiest thing. Like, I've got a big bum and I just find knickers really uncomfy. Thongs are just like my favourite, but after having a baby, there was no way I was putting a thong on. Again, I think I was a little bit like naive, and I thought, oh yeah, I'll just be able to wear a thong with a pad or whatever. No. The pads you need are so huge that a thong cannot be holding them. And yeah, it was just not what I wanted to be wearing. For the first couple of days, I'd say for the first, I don't know, like week, maybe a few days less than that, I'm not sure, I wore these bad boys, which are Always Discreet Boutique, and they're basically disposable underwear. They are, yeah, like nappies for adults. I think they're for kind of incontinence, things like that, but they came in so handy for me. And yeah, when I had just given birth, the midwives said, oh, do you have any big knickers? And I was like, oh, I've got some disposable nappies. So they went and got them for me, and they put them on for me, and inside the nappy they also put a pad. So I'd like doubled up. These aren't open, so I don't want to open them to show you, just because I could like donate these as a whole pack, and I finished the pack that I used. But yeah, they're like big stretchy nappies, and they just pull on like normal knickers, but they can tear at the sides, so they're really easy to take off. Like when I first had a shower after giving birth, the midwives told me to go into the shower with those knickers on and to like take them off in the shower because of the amount of blood there would be. And yeah, you just rip them off and they just fall down. It's really easy, and it saves you like having to bend and like wriggle and get uncomfortable when, you know, you've just had a baby. So yeah, I was wearing those disposable knickers with a pad inside, and so rather than like just, you know, having blood straight in the knickers, I would keep those on as like normal knickers, but they were just there as like a backup in case I leaked through the pad. So yeah, I would just have those knickers on, have a pad inside, and then just replace the pad, you know, throughout the day. I feel like I'm just going on about knickers and pads and blood so much, but it is the reality of having a baby, guys. So yeah, definitely recommend getting disposable knickers and big pads. These actually aren't maternity pads. Again, I've run out of those. The ones that I was using in the kind of week or two after having a baby were much bigger than this, but these are the ones I was able to get when I sent Ollie's home bargains. These are just like heavy period pads, but you can get ones with wings or without. These ones don't have wings, but the ones with are quite handy to put with the knickers because they like wrap around it and it just stops them moving around the place and stuff like that. But yeah, definitely, I didn't realise how much I would need that stuff. I thought it was just going to be a heavy period, but definitely I would say in retrospect, really bulk buy the pads and things like that. Like I said, I didn't have any big knickers, and after about a week, I think, of wearing the nappies, I was ready to try and wear some knickers because they're not like the most comfy thing, or at least they weren't for me. I was ready to get some knickers, so went to Tesco and I bought the biggest, fullest cotton briefs they had. They were like high-waisted and they were really huge. I got them like, I don't know, 4 sizes bigger than my normal size or something like that, something ridiculous, because obviously I still have like my jelly belly from having my baby. And yeah, so in the end I kind of was wearing those with just pads once the bleeding had lightened down a bit. But yeah, so nappies, knickers, pads, first essential. If you watch any postpartum essentials video, I'm pretty sure you will have seen these before. I hadn't heard of these and I didn't know how much I would have needed this until I watched some YouTube videos and loads of people say how helpful they are. And you might not have seen one of these. You might be looking at it thinking, what the hell is that? What it is a bottle that you fill with like water, not too hot, not too cold, just like lukewarm water. Fill this with it, and it's got this little tube thing, and what you do is you basically squeeze it and you shower your nun with the water when you're doing your wees postpartum. So everyone talks about the first kind of wee after having a baby being like really painful and things like that, and don't get me wrong, it isn't nice, but with this it really helped. I'll say I think my first wee I had in the shower after having a baby. I had a shower a couple of hours after giving birth, and the midwives told me to wee in the shower because they said it would be the easiest. But I actually took this in the shower with me as like an extra dilution. So I had the shower on, but I also used this, and I used this for about 3 weeks after giving birth, maybe 2.5 weeks. Because I didn't want to wipe down there. This might sound like strange, but I didn't want to put tissue down there because sometimes tissue breaks up and I didn't want to be left with any like bits of tissue or anything that could like make me sore or anything like that. So I just used this every single time I went to the toilet for a couple of weeks because it dilutes your wee and it just makes it so much easier to wee. There was a time where I didn't have it on me and I needed to go to the toilet, and it really hurt compared to having this. So I would definitely recommend. I know you could use a jug, or I've seen some people use a bowl before, but this really just gets to the area really easily, and I would definitely recommend one of these. I picked it up on Amazon Prime. I think it was like £8 or something like that. I'll obviously keep it for future babies. It was just definitely a lifesaver for having that first wee and all the wees for a couple of weeks after. Something else I used a lot in the first kind of week after having a baby are these Tux medicated cooling pads. These are meant for, it says hemorrhoidal pads with witch hazel. So these are meant for piles. I know that a lot of people do get piles after giving birth, but I actually got these with the intention of using them just on my nun when it was sore. It is so stingy after having a baby. I was really lucky that I didn't have any tears or cuts or stitches or anything like that. I just had a couple of internal grazes that were like stingy, but not, you know, nothing severe. I was really, really lucky. But what I did, as well as the nappies and the huge pads, I would get these and I would line them. So if you can just see here, they're just like little round pads, and I would line them along the maternity pad as like just a soothing thing. I actually saw Louise suggest this on her postpartum video, and so yes, I got these. I got a pack of 40 and I'd say I've got one left, so you know, I think I got the right amount for what I needed. They're basically just like medicated cooling pads, and if you just put them in the area that's hurting, it really, really helps. Just gives like some relief and just take away from the stinging. Or, you know, I just definitely would recommend having those in the week after having a baby. I think most of this video is actually based on bleeding and things, to be honest, looking at everything I've got here. But the next thing I've got are puppy training pads, which might sound really weird because I'm clearly not a puppy and I clearly didn't give birth to a puppy because I am not a dog. But you can get pads that look like this that are meant for beds, but they are a lot more expensive. So basically, if you've not seen a puppy pad before, it just looks like this. They're basically these sheets that you're meant to lay out for a puppy for them to know where to go to toilet when you're training them. But what they were really useful for me was laying on my bed when I was sleeping at night, just like in my area where I might have a leak if I bleed. Like I said, I was wearing a nappy, a pad and stuff, but the days when I started to come away from the nappy and was just wearing a pad, I was like worried to have any you know, leakages and things, so they were really kind of handy to just lay out on the bed and yeah, protect my bed sheets. You could also put them like on the sofa, maybe a blanket over the top if you don't want people to see, if you had guests or something like that, or just for a peace of mind, because there's nothing worse than when you're already kind of trying to deal with everything, you're in pain, you're healing, you're holding your baby and stuff, and you're thinking, oh my gosh, what if I leak through and do, like, you know, you just want the peace of mind. You don't want to be worrying about extra things you don't need to be worrying about. So those puppy pads I definitely would recommend, and I am not using them now because I'm, you know, pretty much over the bleeding stage, and I am 3.5 weeks postpartum. But what they're really good for as well, this might sound, people might think, oh my gosh, that sounds so mean, but as like changing mats, we obviously have proper changing mats, but these are really great if you're like, just need to do a quick change, or there's a pooey nappy or anything like that. We keep these upstairs as like backup changing mats, or lay it on top of your changing mat so it doesn't make it as cold for the bub when you put them down. Obviously we have a little boy and they like to pee when you're changing them. I am very lucky in that I have not had that experience. I've had it once when we had to get him naked to get him weighed when the midwife came, and as soon as he went on the scales it was obviously so cold for him and it made him wee. Ollie, on the other hand, has been covered in wee multiple times when he's changing him. So yeah, these are really handy because it obviously like soaks that up. The next thing is also around toilet. These are biodegradable flushable toilet wipes, and these are intended for children. However, we've discussed the first wee after having a baby, but people are also worried about the first poo. And for me, it was actually fine. I will talk about another thing that helped this in a minute. But I, again, did not want to use tissue down there. I don't know. I just didn't want, I wanted to keep it as clean and as like, I just didn't want to irritate anything going on down there. I wanted to heal as quickly as possible, and I didn't want it to make anything sorer than it needed to be. So I know like a lot of this stuff isn't the most environmentally friendly. It's obviously disposable things. For just those couple of weeks postpartum, I think it's kind of worth doing what you need to do to feel comfortable and to lower the kind of risk of any pain or infection or anything as possible. Next thing, my friend Naomi actually got me as like a gift. She got me a box of loads of bits for me, baby and Ollie, and this was one of the things for me, and it is Dr. Teal's Pure Epsom Salt Soaking Solution with lavender. So I use these on the first bath. I mean, I'm still using it now, to be honest. I've not risked using anything kind of that I'd normally use, like bath bombs and things like that. I've still not used those things, but yeah, Epsom salts for healing are really, really brilliant, and with the lavender as well, it's just relaxing and again healing, soothing. And I don't know if that's, you know, like something I don't know if some people might get irritated by it. I don't know if it's kind of meant to be like a healing thing, but for me it definitely helped. And yeah, I just popped them in the bath. For the first few days I was having very shallow baths, but as kind of time's gone on and I'm having normal baths, I still use that in there, and yeah, everything's healing and all kind of good. So I definitely recommend those for your postpartum baths. So something else I mentioned about helping you go to toilet, I don't know if these are actually intended to help you go to toilet, but when I was younger, in my lunchbox, I'd always have these Fibre One like cake bars, and they would always make me have a bit of a runny tummy. And I thought, I think they're gonna help postpartum. So we got a couple of boxes in, and yeah, the days after giving birth, I don't think I needed to go for a poo until like the 3rd or 4th day. I just didn't get that urge. It wasn't like I was scared to, although I was obviously apprehensive to, but that wasn't the reason why. I just didn't get that feeling where I needed to. But yeah, so I had like one of those a day or whatever, and when the time finally came to go to toilet, I definitely think they helped. Obviously, if your poo is softer, then it'll be easier to do than a big hard poo when you're sore down there, and it's like easier to come out. God, I'm really not holding back, am I? But if you clicked on this video, chances are you are also going to be having a baby or would like to know the reality of it. So I hope that it's okay that I'm going into a lot of detail. But yeah, I will put a picture on screen of the bars that I'm talking about, but I don't know, like I say, if they're meant to do that or if it's just my body that reacts that way. Is fibre meant to help you go to toilet? I don't know. It definitely helped me, so I definitely recommend finding a food or something that's going to help you pass that easier. The next thing are breast pads. I am not breastfeeding, I am formula feeding. I did do a little bit of expressing for a couple of weeks, but I don't produce very much milk, and I think that's kind of dried up now. But still, the day that your milk like comes in and you get engorged, for me, I didn't really have any leaks. Like, I know people who breastfeed quite often get like big wet patches on their boobs and things like that, and obviously need breast pads, and I think maybe they might need like thicker ones than what I've got, because like I said, I wasn't breastfeeding and I wasn't producing very much milk. But for me, again, it was very much a peace of mind thing. Like, I didn't want to be walking around with the risk of having leaky boobs or having like wet patches there. So yeah, I have just been popping these inside my bra. I've been wearing maternity bras quite a bit where I've been expressing. It's just easier, like if I'm sitting watching TV or whatever, to just have a maternity bra which like clips here, and it's easier to get your boob out. Today's actually my first day wearing a proper bra since having a baby. I've just been wearing maternity bras since then because they were in a bigger size and they were comfy. But yeah, they're just like little round pads, and they have like little stickers and they stick inside your bra, and yeah, they protect from any leakages. I know you can get ones that have, is it called Lanolin or something like that? And they're like meant to soothe your nipples as well. Like if you are breastfeeding, you've got cracked nipples, then look into those, because I've heard really good things. But like I said, I'm not breastfeeding, so I don't really have a lot of knowledge about that. If you are, I think this tip is only if you are not planning on breastfeeding, because basically the day that my milk came in, which was day 4, which is the like hormonal day where you feel really low. I actually felt low from day 3 to 5. I was very hormonal, very up and down, but yeah, I just felt really, really sad. And when my milk came in, my boobs went so hard and sore, like so much, and then I got a migraine, and it was not a fun time. But I put on my Instagram stories and loads of people recommend, okay, the camera position has changed because my camera stopped recording. It always does it at 20 minutes and I always forget to like stop it just in time. But yes, I was talking about Cabbage Leaves when I said on Instagram that I had really sore boobs the day my milk came in. Loads and loads and loads of people recommended putting Cabbage Leaves inside your bra. I don't know, I think this might be just if you do not want to breastfeed, because some people mention that it helps dry your milk up. So if you're planning to breastfeed, then don't put them in there, I don't think. Do your own research, but I think it, yeah, from what I was told, it does dry up your milk, so maybe, yeah, look into that. I didn't use that tip, but I thought I would pass it on for anyone who might need it, because yeah, loads of people recommended it as helping. So let me know in the comments if you have done that and if it helped you. But I think that is everything that I've kind of got on my list. I mean, I'm sure, as always, when I film these videos, when I'm editing back, I'm like, oh, why didn't I say that? Because that could have been helpful. Or I mean, I've been kind of writing this list over a kind of since I've had the baby, but I think that is pretty much everything that's like been really helpful to me. But yeah, just being comfy, being, you know, feeling secure, making sure you feel like you're not going to leak, and yeah, just looking after yourself. Oh, another thing is obviously paracetamol. I actually think I took paracetamol once postpartum, and that was the day I had the baby, just when everything was like really sore. I couldn't really sit down that easily at first. So yes, just taking a couple of paracetamol definitely helped, but I think that is kind of everything. So yeah, if you're pregnant and are watching this because you're preparing yourself, then congratulations and good luck. You will be amazing. I know birth can seem really, really scary, but it was an amazing experience for me, and postpartum isn't that bad, or at least it hasn't been for me. It's not the best, but it's completely fine. Your newborn makes up for it completely. So yes, good luck, and thank you so much for watching my video. If you've got any other kind of postpartum essentials, if you've had a baby before, or if you've been doing other research and you've got some good tips, then leave them in the comments below for everyone to have a look at, because I think it's always good to help each other out. And yeah, I will wrap this up now, but thank you so much for watching. I hope you did enjoy this video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up, and I will see you very, very soon for another video. Bye!
I just wanna love you, just wanna hold you, just wanna be with you till we grow old. Just tell me you'll stay or take me away. I want you for myself every single